Have you ever poured your heart out to a friend, only to be met with a cold, empty silence? When you needed them most, it stings, doesn't it? That quiet betrayal makes you wonder, was this bond ever genuine, or just a clever exchange of favors? Machiavelli argued that every relationship hides a motive. The Stoics would nod, urging us to see the raw truth. Friendship, as we dream it, might be a comforting myth. In this video, we dive deep into this harsh reality, not to break your spirit, but to sharpen your mind. If you've ever felt abandoned when your worth faded, stick around. This truth may hurt, but it will set you free. 1 milliampere manipulation runs beneath every bond. Let us face a truth many shy away from. Beneath every friendship, every warm smile, every kind word, there is often a subtle game at play. Not always cruel, not always obvious, but present. Manipulation weaves through our bonds, shaping how we connect. It is not the exception, it is the heartbeat of human interaction. Machiavelli understood this. He saw people not as saints, but as players in a quiet contest of influence. The Stoics, too, would nod, urging us to see this clearly, not to despair, but to grow wiser. Let us dive into this uncomfortable reality, not to lose trust, but to gain insight. Think about your friendships. Recall a moment when someone praised you, their words glowing with warmth. Now ask, what came next? Did they ask for a favor? Did their kindness fade when you could not offer something in return? These are not random acts. They are moves, careful and calculated, designed to nudge you, to sway you, to keep you in their orbit. This is not about villains twirling mustaches. It is about ordinary people, you and me, acting on instincts we rarely admit. We all want something, whether it is attention, security, or a boost to our status. Manipulation is just the tool we use to get it. Machiavelli did not judge this as evil. He saw it as survival. In a world where brute force fails, influence steps in. A friend who listens to your troubles might want your loyalty. Another who lifts you up in public might expect you to return the favor. These are not betrayals. They are the unspoken rules of connection. The problem is not that manipulation exists, it is that we pretend it does not. We call it kindness, loyalty, or love. And when the mask slips, we feel hurt. But the hurt comes from our blindness, not the act itself. Seeing this clearly is the first step to freedom. Considera common scene. A friend calls, saying they miss you, their voice full of nostalgia. You feel warmed, connected, but then they ask for help. Alone, a contact. Suddenly, the warmth feels like a setup. Or think of the friend who showers you with gifts, their generosity overwhelming. Later, you realize they expect your time, your allegiance, your silence. These are not accidents. They are strategies, woven into the fabric of how we relate. Most people do not plot like masterminds. They just follow patterns, learned over years, to get what they need. And they do it well. The Stoics, like Epictetus, would tell you to guard your mind against this. You cannot control others' motives, but you can control how you respond. Watch their actions, not just their words. A compliment is sweet, But if it comes before a request, it is a tool. A promise of support is nice, but if it vanishes when you need it, it was a mirage. This is not about cutting people off. It is about staying awake. When you see manipulation for what it is, it loses its power. You stop being a pawn in someone else's game. You start choosing your moves with purpose. Let us be clear. Manipulation is not always a dark plot. Sometimes it is soft. Even kind. A friend might cheer you up because they need your energy. Another might agree with you to keep the peace. These acts feel good, but they serve a purpose. The danger lies in mistaking them for selflessness. If you believe every kind gesture is pure, you leave yourself open to being shaped, guided, used. Machiavelli would say, the wise person learns to spot these moves, not to hate them, but to navigate them. You do not have to play dirty, but you do have to play smart. How do you live in this reality? First, observe. Pay attention to patterns. Who reaches out only when they need something? Who gives just enough to keep you close, but never enough to sacrifice? Second, stay steady. Do not let flattery or charm sway you. Test sincerity by watching what people do, not what they say. Third, act with intention. You can be kind, generous, even loving, but do it on your terms, not because someone pulled your strings. This is not coldness. It is clarity, the kind that lets you connect without being consumed. Does this mean you should trust no one? Not at all. It means trust with wisdom. Some people manipulate without knowing it, driven by habit, not malice. Others are deliberate, using your goodwill as a lever. Either way, your job is to see it, not to resent it. The Stoics taught that truth, even when it stings, is a gift. When you accept that manipulation runs beneath every bond, you stop being surprised when people shift. You stop feeling betrayed when warmth fades. You start to see the world as it is, a place where influence is currency and sincerity is rare. There are moments when manipulation feels absent, when a friend stands by you for no gain. Their presence, a quiet defiance of the game. These are precious, but they are not the norm. Do not build your peace on finding them. Build it on your own strength, your own clarity. When you do, you can walk through friendships with open eyes, giving freely but never blindly. You can enjoy the warmth of connection without mistaking it for a promise. And when the game reveals itself, you will not flinch. You will nod, understanding, and keep moving forward. This truth is not here to make you cynical. It is here to make you free. Manipulation thrives in the shadows, in the hearts of those who believe every smile is genuine, every word is true. But you are different. You see the strings, the subtle pulls, the quiet pushes. You do not hate them. You just refuse to be tangled in them. That is the power of living awake, of choosing to engage with the world as it is, not as a dream. So, keep your heart open, but your mind sharper. In a world of hidden moves, clarity is your shield, and wisdom is your guide. 2. Friendship is an invisible contract. From childhood, we are fed a heartwarming story. Friends are supposed to be our anchors, there for us through thick and thin, bound by love and loyalty. It is a beautiful idea, one we cling to for comfort. But what if that story is just a fairy tale? What if friendship is not about pure connection, but a silent deal? A contract we never sign but always follow. Machiavelli, with his sharp insight, saw through the fog of sentiment. He believed every bond has a purpose, a hidden exchange of benefits dressed up as affection. The Stoics would agree, urging us to face reality without rose-colored glasses. Let us explore this idea, not to grow cold, but to gain clarity. Picture this. You meet someone, and you click, you laugh together, share secrets, and feel a spark of connection. It feels real, like a bond that will last forever. But pause and look closer. What is really happening? Are they there because they love your soul? Or because you bring something to the table? Maybe your humor lifts their mood. Maybe your connections open doors. Maybe your strength makes them feel secure. This is not wrong. It is just human. We all seek what serves us, even if we do not admit it. The problem comes when we mistake this exchange for something sacred, something that will hold up when the benefits fade. Machiavelli warned that relying on others without understanding their motives is a recipe for betrayal. He saw friendship as a transaction, not a promise. You give, they give. You stop giving, they stop showing up. It is not cruelty, just pragmatism. Think about it. When you were at your peak, who was by your side? Now think about when you hit rock bottom. Who stayed? If the list shrinks, you are not alone. Most people do not stick around when the scales tip, when you have nothing left to offer. This is not a flaw in them. It is the nature of the deal we call friendship. The Stoics, with their calm wisdom, would tell you to accept this truth. Epictetus taught that we should not lean on things outside our control, like the loyalty of others. People change. Their needs shift. Their presence in your life depends on what you provide, whether it is status, support, or just a good time. When you see this clearly, you stop expecting eternal devotion. You start to notice patterns. Who calls when you are winning? Who vanishes when you stumble? Who praises you in public but goes quiet when you need them most? This is not about distrust. It is about awareness. Let us test this idea. Think of a time you helped a friend. Maybe you lent them money, gave them advice, or stood by them in a crisis. Now ask yourself, did they return the favor when you needed it? Or did they drift away, their warmth fading as your value did? If they left, they were not your friend. They were a partner in a deal, one that ended when the terms changed. This is hard to hear, but it is freeing. When you stop chasing the myth of perfect friendship, you stop setting yourself up for pain. You start to see people for who they are, not who you want them to be. Now, does this mean true friendship is impossible? Not quite. There are rare souls who stay when the deal falls apart, who stand by you when you have nothing left to give. These are the exceptions, the gold in a world of stone, but they are so rare that you cannot build your life on finding them. Machiavelli would say to treasure these people, but never expect them. The Stoics would add that your peace should come from within, not from hoping others will defy their nature. When you rely on yourself, you become unshakable, no matter who comes or goes. So, how do you live with this truth? First, observe. Watch how people act, not just what they say. Notice who shows up when you are useful and who stays when you are not. Second, give without clinging. Offer your time, your care, your energy, but do not tie your worth to what you get back. Third, build your strength. The stronger you are, the less you need others to prop you up. This is not about shutting people out. It is about walking among them with clear eyes, knowing that most bonds are temporary, driven by need, not love. This perspective might sound harsh, but it is not about becoming bitter. It is about becoming wise. When you see friendship as a contract, you stop taking absence personally. You understand that people drift because the terms of the deal have shifted, not because you are unworthy. You learn to value those who stay, not because they have to, but because they choose to. And you learn to value yourself, not for what you give others, but for who you are when you stand alone. In a world that loves to sell us dreams of endless loyalty, this truth is a wake-up call. It asks us to let go of illusions and embrace reality. Friendship is not a fairy tale. It is a deal, a balance of interests that lasts as long as the scales stay even. When you accept this, you gain something powerful, the ability to move through life without being blindsided by betrayal. You learn to give generously, love cautiously, and stand firmly, no matter who walks away. That is the strength of seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. 3. The strategy behind empathy. Empathy is a word we cherish. It promises connection, understanding, a shared heartbeat. But what if empathy is not always pure? What if, beneath its warmth, lies a strategy, a quiet tool for influence? In today's world, where likes and comments pass for closeness, empathy often wears a mask. Machiavelli would see it as a tactic, not a virtue. The Stoics would urge us to look closer, to question its motives. This is not about losing faith in people. It is about seeing clearly. Let us uncover the strategy behind empathy, not to shut our hearts, but to sharpen our minds. Scroll through social media, and empathy is everywhere. Friends post heartfelt comments, share your wins, and cheer your struggles. It feels real, like a bond that runs deep. But notice what happens when the spotlight fades. When your life gets messy, where are those voices? Often, they go quiet. The friend who praised you online might not call when you are down. The one who shared your joy might skip your pain. This is not always because they do not care. It is because empathy, for many, is a performance, a way to gain favor, not a promise to stand by you. Machiavelli understood this. He saw human interactions as a chessboard, where every move serves a purpose. Empathy, in his view, is a powerful piece. It builds trust, opens doors, and creates debts without force. A friend who listens to your woes might want your loyalty later. Another who supports you publicly might expect your gratitude in return. These are not evil plots. They are human instincts, polished by time. People use empathy to stay relevant, to be seen as kind, to keep you close for when they need you. It is strategy, dressed in compassion. The Stoics, like Epictetus, would tell you to stay grounded. You cannot control others' intentions, but you can control what you believe. Do not assume every kind word is selfless. Test it. Watch what people do, not just what they say. A friend who offers empathy when it is easy might vanish when it costs them. One who cheers your success might ignore your failures. This is not about cutting ties. It is about seeing the game. When you recognize empathy as a tool, you stop mistaking it for love. You start to protect your peace. Think about it. Recall a time someone showed you empathy. Maybe they listened as you poured out your heart, their words soft and caring. But later, did they ask for a favor? Did their warmth fade when you could not give back? Or consider the friend who always seems to know when to call. Their timing perfect. Right before they need something. These are not coincidences. They are moves. Subtil but deliberate. Most people do not plan like villains. They just follow patterns, using empathy to nudge you, to shape you, to keep the balance in their favor. This truth extends beyond friendships, even in love. Empathy can be strategic. A partner might hold you close in your highs, their affection glowing, but if your shine dims, if you lose what drew them, their closeness might cool, not because they lied, but because the terms of the bond shifted. This is not betrayal. It is human nature, seeking what serves it. The mistake is, believing empathy is always a gift, when often it is a trade. Seeing this does not mean you stop loving. It means you love with wisdom, aware of the currents beneath the surface. So, how do you live with this? First, observe. Notice who offers empathy and when. Are they there in your dark moments, or only when it suits them? Second, stay clear. Do not let sweet words sway you. Judge people by their actions, not their promises. Third, give smartly. Offer your care, your listening ear, but do not give your trust blindly. This is not about being cold. It is about being awake, engaging with others while guarding your core. You can be kind without being naive, open without being used. Does this mean empathy is never real? No. There are moments when someone's care defies strategy, when they stand by you with no gain in sight. These are rare, like stars in a cloudy sky. Treasure them, but do not expect them. The Stoics taught that true peace comes from within, not from others' goodness. When you build your strength, you can face the world's games without crumbling. You can enjoy empathy's warmth without banking on it. And when it fades, you do not break. You nod, understanding, and keep walking. This perspective is not here to harden you. It is here to free you. Empathy thrives as a strategy because we want to believe it is pure, but when you see its hidden edges, you gain power. You stop being pulled by every kind gesture. You start choosing who deserves your energy, your trust, your time. You move through the world with clarity, not bitterness, offering compassion on your terms, not someone else's. In a world where empathy is often a tool, this is your shield, the ability to see, to choose, to stand firm no matter who plays the game. In the end, the strategy behind empathy is not a reason to close off. It is a reason to grow wiser. Keep your heart open, but your eyes sharper. Connect with others, but know the terrain. And when you find someone whose empathy asks for nothing, hold them close, not as the rule, but as the exception. That is the path of clarity, where you walk among people without being swept away, where you give without losing yourself. In a world of calculated care, Your wisdom is your strength, and your truth is your guide. 4. Power dictates loyalty. Here is a truth that cuts deep. Loyalty, that sacred bond we crave, is not born of pure hearts. It is shaped by power. Every relationship, from friendships to alliances, hums with an unseen current, a force that decides who stays and who walks away. Machiavelli knew this. He saw power as the silent engine behind every human connection. The Stoics, with their steady gaze, would agree, asking us to face this reality without flinching. This is not about despair. It is about waking up. Let us explore how power steers loyalty, not to grow bitter, but to stand stronger. Think about the people in your life. Who draws close when you are on top? Who fades when you fall? Power is not just money or status. It is your confidence, your influence, your ability to offer something others want. Maybe it is your calm in a storm, your sharp mind, or your social pull. When you have it, people orbit you. They call you friend, lean on you, sing your praises. But what happens when that power dims? Lose your edge, your resources, your shine, and watch the crowd thin. This is not betrayal. It is human nature at work. Machiavelli taught that loyalty follows value. When you hold something others need, they stay close. When you do not, they drift. It is not always cold or calculated. It is instinct. People gravitate to what lifts them, protects them, or gives them a spark. A friend might admire your strength because it makes them feel safe. Another might seek your company because your name opens doors. These are not evil acts. They are the quiet math of survival. The mistake is believing loyalty is forever, when it is often just a reflection of what you bring to the table. The Stoics, like Epictetus, would urge you to anchor your peace within. You cannot control who stays loyal, only how you respond. Expecting unwavering devotion in a world driven by need is a trap. Instead, observe. Notice who claps for your wins but vanishes in your losses. See who seeks you out when you are useful, then goes silent when you are not. This is not about shutting your heart. It is about opening your eyes. When you see power's role in loyalty, you stop chasing illusion. You start building a life that does not crumble when others leave. Let us test this. Think of a time you held power. Maybe a job, a skill, or a moment of charisma. Who was there, cheering you on? Now, think of a low point, when you had little to give. Who stayed? If the names change, you see the pattern. Loyalty often tracks with what you offer. A friend might call you family when your star is rising, but when it falls, their calls stop. This is not because they are bad. It is because power shapes their choices, just as it shapes yours. Recognizing this frees you from false hopes. Does this mean true loyalty is a myth? Not entirely. There are rare souls who stand by you when your power fades, who stay not for what you give, but for who you are. These bonds are treasures, but they are not the rule. Machiavelli would say to honor them, but never bank on them. The Stoics would add that your strength must come from within, not from others' promises. When you rely on yourself, you can face the world's shifting tides without breaking. You can love without clinging, give without expecting, and walk away without shattering. So, how do you navigate this truth? First, see clearly. Watch how power moves people. Notice who seeks you when you are strong and who fades when you are not. Second, hold your own power. Build your skills, your resilience, your inner fire. The more you stand on your own, the less you need others to hold you up. Third, give wisely. Offer your time, your care, but do not pour yourself into those who only take when it suits them. This is not about distrust. It is about discernment, choosing who deserves your energy. This perspective is not cold. It is liberating. When you accept that power dictates loyalty, you stop taking absence personally. You understand that people leave because the balance shifted, not because you failed. You learn to value those who stay through the dark, not because they need you, but because they choose you, and you learn to value yourself, not for what you offer others, but for the strength you carry alone. This is not a call to isolation. It is a call to clarity, to move through the world with purpose, not naivety. In a world that sells dreams of endless loyalty, this truth is a shield. It guards you from the pain of broken expectations. You see the game, the way power pulls strings, the way loyalty bends to need. You do not hate it. You just refuse to be its victim. You give generously, but not blindly. You connect deeply, but not weakly. And when loyalty fades, you do not fall. You stand, because your peace was never built on others' choices. That is the gift of seeing power for what it is, a force that shapes every bond, but does not have to shape you. This journey through friendship's hidden truths was not about closing your heart. It was about opening your eyes. Power, interest, and control shape our bonds. But knowing this sets you free. You can love without illusions, give without being used, and stand strong when others fade. True friends, the ones who stay when nothing is left to gain, are rare gems. Treasure them, but build your peace within. Subscribe for more insights. Share your thoughts below, and keep seeking truth with wisdom, not fear. The next video awaits you.